So here, as you can see here, Lab 3 is what basically is introduction to Amazon EC2, and which will be from that your Cloud Foundation Model 6 compute services. In this lab, we are going to study about like Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, which is a wave service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. And basically it is designed to make the wave scale cloud computing easier for the developers. So here basically in the EC2, we will be going to configure few tasks. Like in task 1, we will see about launch your Amazon EC2 instance, and then in the task 2, we will see about, as you can see here, monitor your instances. Then you will see in the task 3, update your security group and access the web server. Then you will see in the task 4, we'll resize your instance and instance type, and also we'll see about this EBS volume. So these are the things we have to complete, and in task 4 we have to explore the EC2 limits, and then we will complete our lab. So these are the the things that we are going to perform in this introduction to Amazon EC2 lab. So for going to this lab 3, first of all we have to start the lab. Okay, click on start tab. As you can see, the lab status is ready. So now we need to close the lab tab, Windows, and then you need to click on AWS here. So just look at here in task 1, we need to launch your Amazon EC2 instance. For that, you have to go to the services, and then you have to choose the compute service, and then choose EC2 instance. So here you can directly go to the centrally visited services, or you can search it over here like EC2. For those who are not finding EC2, so how they will search, they have to write it in under the services EC2. Now you'll find the EC2 dashboard. After this, you have to click on launch instance. Here you can see the default instance has already been running here. As you can see, one instance, but we want to launch new instance. So for that, we have to click on launch instance. So what should be the name? Just checking the instruction. And one more thing you have to check with that instances, that should be like verify this EC2 console currently managed source through this resources through the North Virginia US East 1 region. So whenever you are launching instance, or whenever you are opening that management console, for that you need to check with here. Here your name should be there, ID, and the region name should be visible over here. This instance we are going to launch in the North Virginia region, so you can see here North Virginia, and under it US East 1, which will be one of our region for this lab. Then you have to write the name, like instance name is wave server. Under the name tag section, so you can give the name. Uh, After this, you have to check with application in OS image and then in Amazon machine image, that is called the AMI. So whenever you're launching an instance, we required any one of the platform like operating system. So you need to choose any one operating system, but as per our lab, which one they're asking to choose, just we have to read the instruction. So here, application and OS images, you need to select that Amazon Linux AMI. That is the default one. So you can check with that. Here is Amazon Linux operating system. So just choose this one. So by default, it is selected already. And you can verify over here also. Like Amazon machine image, AMI, Linux 2023 AMI. This is for free tier eligible. I mean, it says eligible for all the the users, those who are accessing a free tier account. In step 3, you have to check your instance type. We need to select that T2 micro. This is like T2 micro is eligible for all free tier account holders. So here it is by default it is selected, as you can see here, T2 micro. And there is some specification over given over here, like as you can see the memory size, then CPU size, CPU version, okay, and what are the specification for different your types of instances that you can check from this LMS, as I have taught you earlier also, like in the instance type, if you see there are various type of instance type instances are available, like T2 micro, T2 is for small, T2 nano, then you have T2 large, right? So every instances having their different features and different memory size, a different storage, so that varies as per your need. Accordingly you have to select the instance type, but as we are doing the free lab, so for that we have to choose with T2 micro as per our instruction. The next step is like keep here. So on that case, just see what name is required, I mean specified. So keep your name required, that for this you have to choose the walkie. So just check it in drop down menu. There is walkie RSA. After this, you need to go to the network setting and choose edit network setting. Under it, you have to check with this lab VPC virtual private cloud. So this instance is going to be launched under the lab VPC. So here click on edit. Just check it. And there is a default VPC has been created for you, like lab VPC here. Lab VPC was created using AWS Cloud Formation template during the step during the setup process of your lab, and this VPC include two public subnet in two different ability zones. So we two, public subnet that will be used for a different ability in two different ability zones. So in this case, the subnet in which the instance will run, you have to notice that also that by default the instance will be assigned a public IP address. So this is the one of the important thing you have to note it in the lab VPC. After it, just check with this firewall and security group. You need to create the security group and give some name like wave server security group and security group for my wave server. So just go to the firewall section here. You can check with that. There is a security, create security group section. So under it, you have to give security group name. So just type the name, what name they're asking for it. Wave server security group, that name you have to give. And in description, you can give anything. Here you can give like they have a specified security group for my web server. After this, you have to go to the under inbound security group rule. Notice that one rule, I just remove this rule. I mean, under the inbound security group rules, notice that one rule exists, remove this rule. Okay, so just check with the inbound security group rules, and here you can see the rule that one is one of the rule is added over here, and this one we have to remove that. So let me check with that here what which rule they want to remove. One rule I just remove this rule. Okay, so under the security group section you can see this is the rule security group rule TCP. I mean TCP is a transmission protocol that has been added in this inbound security group. Remove that. No security groups are currently included in these templates. Add a new rule. As you can see here, like inbound security groups under this section, there is no any rule added as we have just now removed. After this, you have to go to the configuration storage. I mean, in the storage section, and you need to check with the storage section. Keep the default setting as it is. So Amazon EC2 store data on a network attached virtual disk called the elastic block store. So initially it will be stored, I mean, all these two files under the elastic block store that is called the EBS. So in this section, you have to keep all the default setting as it is. So in configure storage, as you can see here, like this one is our EBS volume. This is the default one, 8 gig to keep as it is. But you can, add up to 30 gig, that is free for all free tier accounts. After this, you have to go to the advanced detail, and under this advanced detail, just you have to expand this advanced detail, and for the termination protection, select enable. Just mute yourself. Was that? And so on. So just look at here, like under the advanced detail section, What are the things required basically? Let me check with that. Termination protection, just we have to select enable, and we need to give the user data under the user data section. So just check it, your termination protection is enabled or not. Here we have to select the enable, if you have created, what is the use of this termination protection? Like suppose you have created the instances and by mistake or accidentally someone has tried to terminate the instance or delete the instance. So for this case, if there is a protection, so they will ask you to enter your password. So for that purpose, we generally enable that termination protection. Now you need to go to the user data box, and under this you have to just copy this code and specify it. Simply, this is the HTTP pose for basically launching in instances. Once your instance will shows your 2x2 check pass, so immediately it will immediately it will face the instance from the any browser, and you can access that web server instances. So for that case, you have to write some code that is under the user data box. So here we have, let me show you where is the user data box. But at the bottom of that, you will find this. You can see here, we have the user data box. So under this section, just we need some code, which will be for installing YHTTPT. And there, if you want to change some message, also you can do the hello from your web server. So this message you can see from this code, like hello from your web server. So that can be changed. I mean, you can give your name, your detail, that can be accepted. Okay. So either you can keep as it is, or if you want, you can change it here. So I recommend you to change with hello from KIT, and in bracket just write your name, roll number, and your detail. So that is one of your assignment part for this lab. Okay. So here in this eco code, under this section, you will be writing like a hello from your name. You can give like here your full name, and in bracket you can write your roll number. Otherwise, just your name should be there. That is also sufficient. Okay. So this is your like user
Sir,
data
can you
box.
repeat that part
Yeah,
which we
in
have
this
to edit?
section. Yeah, here you can see like under the user data section. You just mute it. I will explain. Just wait. So here, as you can see under the user data section, we have the code. So under this code, you can see the hello as a message. Let me read, see here this one. So this is what basically hello from your web server. So here you can write your name. Okay, hello from like your name or your roll number. Okay, so that changes you have to make from your side, and then you have to check on the web server this message is showing or not. Once you open through the IP, public IP, or your web server link of your instances. So through that link, if you try to open your web server, so at that time this message should visible. Okay, whenever you are changing your any detail here. So while launching the instance, you have to change. After that, if you want to change in this, then it will not accept it. Okay. So initially, I'm not changing anything here. So this message will come once I will open my web server instances. Okay.
Excuse me,
I'm
sir.
just keeping as it is. Yeah, tell me.
So for us, we'll write our name and roll number, sir.
Yeah, yeah. For
Okay,
you,
sir.
you have to write your name and phone. Okay. So after this, you have to just go to the launch the instance. So here you need to click the launch instance. So it takes some time. Now that's great. It's has been launched. I mean successfully initiated. So now you need to go to the choose view all instances, and in the instance list select the web server and review the information displays in the details tab. So let me show you how I'll do that. So under the instances, just click over here, and here as you can see, like we have launched that new instance that is called the web server. That was a name we have given. If you are giving something else, that will show you accordingly, or else you can rename it here also. Okay, so just keep it the same name. If you have done, I mean, the selecting that web server, then you have to review the information display in the detail tab, and it includes the information about the instance type, security setting, and network setting. Whatever configuration you did it yet, all the things you can check with that. Like in detail section, you can see the instance ID, the instance public address, I mean IPv4 address, private address, the DNS detail, everything. I mean, what is the type of instance you have used? Okay, whether you have keep auto assign IP addressing enable or not, all the things, which kind of platform you have selected, like as you can see Amazon Linux that we have selected AMI, so that is also visible. Under the details section, everything you can verify, or you can check with another way, like if you want to see about the security uh, section. So you have to go to script tab and find all the security detail, inbound, outbound rules. Then you can check with the networking section, all the details under the networking section. Okay, related to your subnet mask, your to subnetted network, public subnet, private subnet, every detail you will find on the networking section. Then storage, like suppose you have used the initial storage of 8 GB EVS volume, so that thing also you can verify here. The volume ID, device, that volume size you can see, and whether it's attached or not. This thing also you can verify, right? Like this way, I mean, you can check everything. Like a status check also you can verify, like it is initializing, as you can see here also, like our instance has not like its status check has been passed, so we need to wait for a few minutes to get it all the status check passed. After that you can check your instance through the link or through the your public IP. Okay, so it is at the initial stage, you can see it's initializing system check. Then you can go
Excuse me,
with
sir.
smaller, yeah, tell me.
So, like here, your status check is showing initializing. Mine
Mhm.
status check is not showing anything. It's blank.
Yeah, just select the instance and refresh it. It will show. Just select it here, just select the instance and click on this tab, refresh instance. Just refresh it.
Yes, sir, got it.
So just look at here. If I select this instance and will go to the each and every tab related to web server, I mean instance, like either you can go in the detail or security, networking, storage, status check, monitoring, tags, everything. I mean, whatever you have did it before creating your instance, all the changes you can check it over here. In the tags, we have given the web server, the key name, that was the values for the web server, that also you can see. You can also, if you want to make the changes, you have to click on manage tag and do that. But as per now, we don't need, so I'm not showing those things. Just look at here. Wait for instance to discuss the following things, like instance state should be running, and then it shows the status check is to check pass. So let me check with that whether it is passed or not to check. Now see, like 2 by 2 check passed already, as you can see here. Okay, that thing what you're supposed to verify. So now you have successfully launched your first Amazon EC2 instance in this lab. So this was your first instance. Before that, your default instance we are using it in the previous lab, in the first lab and in the second lab. But in this lab, you are going with the creating the new instances. The first time you are seeing that. So I mean, the task one part that you have seen in the lab introduction to Amazon EC2. Now you have to go to the task two. Just a minute. Okay, so let's go to the next task. Monitor your instance. Now, let's see here on the 22nd steps, like status check tab, that with instance status monitoring, you can quickly determine whether Amazon EC2 has detected any problem that might prevent your instance from the running application. Then you'll see the EC2 perform the automated check on every running EC2 instance to identify the hardware and software issues. You can notice that both the system reachability and instance reachability check has been passed. This is all about the 2 by 2 check pass information that you need to understand. Going to the next, like the monitoring tab, like I have shown you what are the things coming under it. Then troubleshooting tab, that is all for the you're verifying all the detail. Like monitoring is stand metric for the Amazon Cloud was for your EC2 instances, right? That is one of the service as you can see here. That is called as Amazon Cloud Watch. That is used for the monitoring purpose in AWS for the EC2 instances. So under the next like monitor and troubleshooting tab, that detail also has on your user data, right? So this is all for your verifying the detail under the particular instances, like how check all the detail how I have shown you like this way under the detail. Then we have the security section, as you can see. Then there was a networking, then here it was monitoring, then tag, troubleshooting, everything. I mean, you can check through these instances, right? And also you can select one instance and go to the action, and you can make changes like instance setting. You can go and make the changes, or you can go to the networking setting or security setting. There's a various way of monitor and the troubleshoot, like different action that can be performed on this particular instances that they are talking in these steps, like how you understand how this thing. And then like under the task 3, basically task 2 is all for the just checking with your instances after the creation of your instance, like how the monitoring serving will perform, then how that troubleshooting can be done. uh, so this thing you need to understand, okay? And then if we'll move to the task 3, that is for update your security group and access the web server. So from here you have to again start performing the steps under this instances. So like first of all you have to choose the instance, and then you need to copy the IPv4 address for your instance to your clipboard. So let me show you how I'll do that. So first of all, just select the instance. Under the details section, you can copy public IPv4 address. This address they are asking you to copy. Okay. And then what you have to do, open a new tab in your web browser, paste the IP address. You just copy it and then press enter. Like, let me show here. Open a new tab in any browser. So here, just paste that IP and hit enter. Let me show you whether our instance is opening or not, what error is coming if it is not opening, because this thing we have to also verify here. After this, there is some question here: are you able to access your web server, and why not? because we have in this instances we have not given outbound role, and you can see you are not currently enabled access of your web server because the security group not performing inbound traffic on port HTTP port number 80. So this part we have removed that. So due to that, it is not able to open your particular instances, right? That HTTP port number 80, that if you are enabling under the inbound rule, so definitely you will be able to access your instance through the browser. Okay, this is the demonstration for of using a security group as a firewall to restrict the network traffic that is allowed in and out of your instances. So how will perform that particular website or particular server, if you want to inbound the rules, or whether you'll allow some access of website, or if you want to deny. So in this way you can perform on your instances as well. So how will resolve this issue? I mean, keep the browser tab open but return to the EC2 console tab. So here they are asking like this, as you can see here, this site can't be reached because we have not been allowed inbound room. So how will resolve this issue? So for this case, you have to go to the security group under the left navigation pane of your AWS console. Okay, and then you need to select the web server security group, and then you need to choose the inbound role. So first of all, you have to go to EC2 console tab, and you have to choose the security group, right? So like you can check here under the, like here, you can search it like security group over here left side, as you can see. All right, so what they are asking, I mean, choose the inbound rule tab. So select web server security group. So here is our web server security group. As you can see here, this is our web server security group, and read over here. Okay, and under this we have the inbound rule. We have to go to the inbound rule. So I am under the inbound rule, as you can see here. And after this, you have to go to the edit. Right, here choose edit inbound rule and select add rule and then configure. So just let me go to the edit inbound rule. Right, add rule. Which thing we have to add? The type HTTP hypertext transfer protocol. This will be used for opening or any web pages. Review the service of any web page. So for this case, we will be giving access to HTTP, and in the source we will allow anywhere IPv4. Just find it HTTP here, or you can type it. Okay, and in the source section, you have to allow, I mean, you have to give the access from anywhere IPv4, and then you need to save the rule. Now you can check in the inbound rule section. This initially it was not showing any rule. Now you can see here IPv4 version for the security group, and the protocol which is used under the security group is HTTP, that will be allowed, right? Now just to go to the same web server, and then try to refresh the page, and you can see the message like hello from your web server. So here you have to come to this the same public IPv4 address where, and we are not able to access initially, but now as you can see here, hello from your web server. So this message I need in your assignment for today's class, like lab assignment 3. So under it here, the message should be hello from your name, and your roll number should be visible in this section. Okay, everybody should be taking screenshot with the unique public IP, as you can see here. While taking the screenshot, make sure that your IP should be visible and the message should be visible. So that is your assignment part for today's class. Your public IP, as you can see, this part should be visible, and this your message should be visible. So under the message section, your name and your roll number should be visible. So if you try with that your name and roll number, if anybody is not able to do that, so you can also use the same message, but on that case, you have to make sure that like your IP should be different. You cannot copy with other friends and share in the assignment because everybody having the unique IP. Okay, so on that basis, we can check from our backend. Okay, so this is our the lab part that you will be performing over here. Like next thing is like the additional thing I'll be showing you. This is for your today's lab assignment. Okay, that much you'll be doing. Apart from this, for resizing the volume, I'll be just showing you, or you have to additionally you have to do. Okay, so how will make the changes on the instances, how you increase the size of the storage, and how you will disable the termination protection, how if you have enabled, and whether you will be able to terminate your instance or not. So everything that will be verifying. So this is a till task you have to do for the today's assignment. Remember this. Okay, so let's go with the task 4. Task 4 is based on the resize your instance type, and EVS volume. Okay, so in this task, we will be seeing that under the EC2 management console, like if you try to stop your instance directly after selecting the web server instances, are you able to do that or not? So let me show you, because as we have enabled a termination protection, so whether it is taking, I mean, whether we are able to terminate or stop your instance or not. So let me verify over here. Now let me go to the instance, and here I have to pick instances, and then I need to go to the instance state and try to stop the instance. Okay. So it is asking to confirm that you want to stop the instance with the stop button. Okay, I want to stop. Okay, I have successfully stopped. That is fine. Okay, as you can see here, instance state is also stopping. All right. And after this, like if you go down, let's see here. Once it will show you stop, then you have to change the instance type. Under the instance setting, change instance type, and then you have to choose that instance type to small. Okay, so we are going to change the instance type. How to change that, you are going to learn it in this lab. So for this case, once you have stopped, like this instance already been stopped, as you can see here, under the instance state condition, under the instance state section, you will find the web server is stopped. After this, you have to go to the action under the instance setting, and here we want basically to change the instance type from T2 micro to T2 small. Initially, we are having T2 micro, so now we will change instance type to T2 small. So how change the instance type? Just you need to go to the action section, then you have to change instance setting. Under the instance setting, you will be finding change instance type. Just see here how I did it. Under the action, I went to the instance setting. After this, I have to go to the change instance type and to click over here. And here you will find like in T2 micro to T2 small. So you need to check here under the T2 series. Yeah, just look here, T2 micro. Initially it was selected. Now we have to change to T2 small, and then here you have to click it apply. Okay, now you can check here the instance type is initially it was from T2 micro. Now it is showing like T2 small. All right. So this point also you can do after stopping instance. So this don't change your instance type during the running state, because during the running state you cannot make any changes on the instances. So first of all, you have to stop your instance, and then anything you want to modify, uh, then you do after stopping it. Okay. So this thing we have done. Now I wanted to resize my EBS volume. So how I'll do that? So for resizing the volume, you have to go to the modify volume. I mean under the same, action section, and then go to the action, and then you have to select the modify volume, and then you need to change it to 10 gig. And so it was 8 gig. Now I wanted to change it to 10 gig. So let's see here. Change instance setting, modify volume, instance replacement, and modifier is just check with that. We have to, this thing we have to change. Let me check with here, like modify volume. In the section menu, select modify volume. Okay. So here you have to select the instance selected and choose the storage tab. Select the name of your volume ID and select the checkbox next to the one that displays. Okay, so like here you can go to the instance under the storage section. Like as you can see here directly, you don't need to go to the action here. Like from there you can check. Like initially it is 8 gig. It is shown here, right? That is attached volume. So after this, like in the action, now this is for your verifying that what is the size of your storage which is used in the EC2. Right now you need to go to the in action menu, select modify volume. Okay, and uh, just go to the action and then define this modify volume, storage view detail. Okay. Let me go to the instances or instance. Under the action, this manage instance state, instance setting, then we have is monitor tower setting. Okay, so let me check with this instance setting. Modify capacity.
Sir, we have to go in storage tab.
Sir, we
After
have to
that,
go
we
into
have to
the
click on
storages tab.
volume ID.
Yeah, volume ID that we have here, as you can
No,
see
no, sir.
here.
Yes, sir.
We have to
So,
go to the
We have to
storage,
click
and
on it.
after that, we have to click on volume ID. The volume ID.
yes, sir.
Okay, let me see here. What is asking the action menu? We've server selected, choose the instance state. Okay, choose the storage tab. Okay, so here under the VF7 instance, still selected, choose the storage tab. Select the name of the volume ID and then select the checkbox next to the volume that display. Okay, so after the storage section, here I went there under this. Then let me go back. Yeah, here like I have selected the Weave server. Then I click on the storage tab. Then storage tab after volume ID, and that one they're asking. Let me read it here. Then select the name of the volume ID. Then select the checkbox next to the volume that display. Okay, so let me click over here, volume ID. Okay, so like initially you can see the size is 8 gig. Just select it. What is asking, I mean, we have to change it. I mean, from 8 gig to 10 gig. So like in modify volume, like in the action menu, select the modify volume. Okay, we have did it next to the volume that display. So here, after selecting this our storage ID, then we have to go to the action, and then you can find here modify volume. Okay, so initially when you are selecting the instances directly under the action section, you cannot find, I mean, modify volume. So you have to go to that particular instance storage, and then you have to click on the volume ID of that instances. Okay, and then once you'll come to this volume of this instance, then you will find the action and where you have to modify. Here you can click on modify. Okay, so this part is basically for changing your volume. Now we have to modify to 10. Initially it was 8, as you had seen it earlier. I'm just changing it to 10 gig, and which type of volume they need, a general purpose SSD. So let me check with that. Is there any changes in this like SSD type? I mean your volume type? No, you don't have to make any changes. So you have to just increase the size of disk, nothing else. Okay. And then you may be restricted from creating a large amount of news volume, that you know that, I mean, maximum 30 gig you can create. So I'm changing to 8 to 10, so it is fine. All right, here you have to click on modify. Again you have to click modify. Okay, so if you have modified, then start the resize instance, and you need to check the wave server instance whether is it modified or not, because we have changed T2 micro to T2 small, and the volume, two things we made it changes. Like as you can see here, this two thing, T2 micro to T2 small, and 8 gig to 10 gig, right? So this thing you have to verify. So how I'll do that? I just go back to the instances. I can close this. Just refresh this. Now you can see the instance type T2 small. Initially it was T2 micro, that we have changed it. Just select this. You will find in the store section what is the volume size here. I can see the 10 gig. Initially it was 8 gig. So both the changes has been done while changing instance type. That thing also, after changing instance type, that thing also we have verified, like it has updated with T2 small. And if we talk about storage, so under the storage section you can see the volume sizes 10 gig. Both thing we did it from the task 4. That part only you have to modify, okay, from the task 4. We have done till that. Now under the task 5, you have to explore the EC2 limit. Okay, just to go to the management console, and under services section, just go to service ports, and You can check with this EC2 when you will go to this AWS services and find service search bar. So you search EC2 and choose Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, that is called as the Amazon EC2. So this is all about that for exploring your knowledge. That is not required. I mean, here just simple, as you know that you are doing this is your third lab, so you know how to search that EC2 and VPC or any CloudWatch or any other services, right? So for this case, they are asking you to explore your knowledge, EC2 limit and all those things, right? So this is the basic thing. As for this lab in task 5 for exploring that you can do it from your side. Okay. Let me show you in task 6 what two things you have to do. Like in task 3, you have to test the termination protection, right? And try to terminate your instance. So first of all, you have to start your instance. Otherwise, you can do one thing. Like initially, our instance was under the stop, okay, section. So I want to terminate also. So let me go to the wave server, that instance, and go to instance state and try to terminate it. So am I able to do it or not? Because as you know that termination protection is enabled. So let me show you, are you able to do it or not? So here you can see I have tried to terminate, but the message you can see over here, the failed to terminate an instance, and the instance ID is also given over here. That instance I wanted to terminate, but I could not be able to do because I have set the termination part, termination, I have enabled the termination protection. So due to this case, I could not be able to terminate my instance, right? So in this situation, if I am admin of this instance, I want to terminate it. So what kind of thing I have to do? So for this case, you have to go to the action menu and select the instance setting and change the termination protection. So for this case, go to the action, change this under the instance setting, change termination protection. Here you have to click. This one is enable. Just disable it and just save the changes. Now try to terminate this instance. Okay, are you able to do it or not? Just select this wave server instance, go to the action, and then you have to go to the instance state. I mean, not action here, just go to the instance state, terminate instance. Now click over here. So now you'll find that successfully removed termination protection and successfully you have terminated the instance also. So now it is showing is the shutting down because we have removed the termination protection. Now we can do this thing. Okay, so this is all about the lab 3, which was based on introduction to Amazon EC2 and all 6 tasks we have seen in this lab. So accordingly, you all have to do, and till task 3 you have to submit for today's lab, like where the message was showing this message here. Okay, now after few minutes, once the instance will be terminated, you cannot find this message. Remember this. So before terminating your instances, take the screenshot. Those anyone is doing it, this lab, take the screenshot. If the completely if your instances will be terminated, then this message will not come. Let me refresh and check with that whether it's come. This is the old message. And now you can see this IP I had used earlier, right? For checking this our server and instances. So let me paste this IP and try to check our instance is opening and our server is just it. Because we have terminated the instance, now we can see our information of our instances from any public IP or from the any link, right? So you need to make sure while doing the task 6, before that you could have taken the screenshot. Okay, so that much for today's lab.
So we